Right? I love superpowers. Just imagine, not only all the skills that you have now, but something incredible, something superhuman. Let me take you on a little journey. If you were to ask me, what is your favorite superpower? My answer would have been different at every moment in my life. When I was a kid, I remember watching cartoons and seeing Superman and being amazed at the idea of flight. Just imagine, wherever you are, you ready? You jump, and suddenly you're flying across the world and you're seeing the skies. You're going next to planes. People are asking, is that a bird? Is that a plane? Or is that just an incredibly cool human being? That's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to be able to fly. And then, as I grew older, I remember I watched The Incredibles. Do you remember The Incredibles, the famous Pixar movie? And in that, I remember seeing the person who could go invisible. And suddenly, that became the superpower that I wanted so deeply. Just imagine, wherever you are, you can just fade into your environment and no one can know where you're going. As I grew older, I began to be able to see, and I was allowed to see, some of those PG-13, rated R, more adult superhero films. Suddenly, the fantasy of superhuman, alien superpowers was no longer enough for me. Instead, I wanted something that was more realistic. Something like Batman. Imagine a billionaire, a person who has so much money and is using it to save the world and fight crime. Or Iron Man, the stereotypical arrogant billionaire who's also able to get into weapons and build his own incredible suit and fly to wherever he wants. He didn't need to be born on a different planet in order to be able to save the world and be a superhuman being. That superpower he was able to create himself. And as I got more and more into what was realistic and what was no longer superhuman, but realistic powers, realistic superpowers, I also, around that time, somebody asked me a question. What would be your mundane superpower? What? Mundane superpower? What does that even mean? And so they explained, we always think about, whenever we think about superpowers, doing amazing things, being able to teleport wherever you want, control minds, see things go over at random places, go invisible. But how many times do we think about the little things that would improve our lives? A mundane superpower is something that's superhuman, something that not everyone has, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world. My personal favorite was being a Wi-Fi receptor, a Wi-Fi hotspot. Wherever you go, you have a Wi-Fi that you need and you're connected, right? And that got me thinking. I could have a mundane superpower, and I actually do. My favorite moment was when I went to a scholarship weekend. I was in the college campus, there were a lot of students, and there was this big event they were planning for us. Imagine 1,000 people all filled into this campus church. And we're all like lining up, sitting with our pews. I'm making some friends and I'm trying to joke around and I'm convincing them, hey, I got this really cool trick. I got this really cool superpower. And everyone's wondering, what is he talking about? And at this point, I'm trying to show off that I got this really cool superpower. And it's mundane, but it's the coolest thing I've got. And everyone's loud, everyone's talking, 1,000 people, lots of voices going around. And they're setting up, there's supposed to be this big talent show where they show us all the campus events. And so I take a gauge, right? I scan the audience. I recognize, okay, everyone's in the crowd, everyone's pretty loud. And then, just like this, shh. I quiet the entire crowd. Shushing. Shushing was my mundane superpower. without anyone knowing, except for the 3 people that I was like bragging to, the entire crowd went completely silent, and no one knew why. Everyone looked to the stage, and there's one guy fixing the mic, but there's literally nothing happening. And for a solid 5 minutes, the only sound that could be heard in the room was me laughing hysterically because I had figured out, and I had proven my mundane superpower. But that's not enough, right? My journey continued even further because as I thought, wow, I already have the superpower. What more can I do? What more can I accomplish? At one point, I wanted to control minds, or I wanted to be able to read minds. But then as I began to meditate and sit in silence, I realized how chaotic minds can be. Just so many thoughts buzzing around. But it got me thinking. We often think about, especially when we're kids, the superpowers being this incredible, overly alien kind of ability, right? And as I grew older, I wanted something that was more and more realistic. And it got me thinking about the people that are superheroes to me on a daily life. This past week, for example, I was having a terrible day. I went home, which was about an hour away. I spent some time with my parents. And it was a really, really rough week. The entire world was in doom. We were in crisis mode. I didn't know what can make it better. And then the superhero came to the rescue. I looked at my mom. She looked at me. And in one huge embrace that lasted probably 5 minutes, everything was okay. And in that moment, I realized that while superpowers can be great and fascinating and things that are great to think about and dream about, and mundane superpowers are even cooler to come up with cool things about things that you have, the one superpower that meant the most to me was my mom's huge head.